What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls pregame, presented to you by DraftKings. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you're signing up at DraftKings. And you should do it like right now as you're watching pregame so you can get in a same-game parlay for tonight's action. You know mine's in already.
Already?
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Because I'm Parlay Peck. That's me, in case you didn't know.
You guys just said that.
Bulls_Peck
like
on Twitter. This is my guy Big Dave. He is at Pal BWL Sports. My guy Will is at Will_Gottlieb.
Blue checks.
Rocking the blue check today.
Blue checks.
This man is a legend, people. He was a GOAT before the blue check. Can you imagine to what great heights he will now soar?
You know what's the better news is, I don't know if you guys noticed this, on the intro card it said Winner's Lounge. I think that means we've already won.
Oh,
it does?
Okay, all right.
I must have messed up.
Fantastic.
That means the Bulls are going to win tonight.
Thanks, Joey.
Here I was sitting here thinking this might be a trap game. You know, riding high, getting your season opening win in Miami.
That's so unlike you to think this is a trap game. So unlike you.
Bulls swept the Wizards last season.
They did. They did.
The Wizards.
The Wizards.
The Wizards.
The return of the Wizard. Can we talk about how Joey threw water on me earlier? Joey kicked my air conditioner over on me because he got so mad at me, man. I don't know why.
I give you credit, though. The reflexes were.
Oh, man. Quick as a cat, baby. Quick as
That
a
was
cat.
wild. That
Reflex
was
of cat,
wild.
the speed of a mongoose.
Hey, man. I mean, I already got the GOAT, you know, with his blue check. Don't want to do a show with me. And then, you know, Will's kicking air conditioners over on me. I don't know what's happening going on.
Dave, you need a hug. Come here.
Every day.
Oh, isn't that just
That's the
precious?
worst hug ever. We got to do better. We got to do better. Because we're sitting.
We're so far away from each other.
Oh.
These chairs further spread apart than they usually are.
I think they are. I feel far away from you guys.
But I'm
Scoot.
big, so I
Why
like
don't you
space.
scoot? I don't know.
That's fair.
It looks
kinda
lined
works.
up in the monitor.
We'll hug after the show.
It's the exact same.
That's Joey
He says the
verifying
exact same.
that it is in fact the exact same.
The water kicker says it's the exact same.
So
Yes, I'm going to mess with you.
and because I wore them for their season opening victory as promised.
Yes.
Burks are here again today.
Burks
folks.
are back.
And more than that, it was a deserving Burks day.
I was just about to
gorgeous
say.
fall day in Chicago. Holy
Beautiful
crap.
out.
It was. Very
70
beautiful
plus
day.
degrees.
That's option weather. This is why it's beautiful, man. You know, you wear your jacket, hoodie, none of that, some shorts, some Burks.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do, this is the weather for it. This is why I love the fall, man. It's a beautiful time.
Somebody in the comments wants you guys to reenact the DeMar and Zach hugs. You know, apparently
reenact the DeMar and
right
Zach hugs.
because they're so touching.
You guys
and
didn't
tender.
see the picture of Matt and Dave hugging in the Matt and Dave dancing cat video?
Yeah, that was the winning
the
hug.
one that looks like we're awkwardly slow dancing at a junior high dance.
I swear I didn't see it. I've never done that at a junior high dance.
You've
Had
never
like
done
that?
this dancing
Hell no.
in junior high?
No, bro, we close. Like, no.
Well, yeah, that's because you've
No,
always
man.
had game like
I'm
that.
just saying, like, we went to different schools.
Us mere mortals who went through an awkward phase in junior high and were afraid to touch people that we were attracted to. Big Dave, out of the gate.
I'm just saying you didn't do it like that.
Dude,
Like, it wasn't
you were sweet talking to the ladies when you were 2 years old, I guarantee you. Yeah.
But it wasn't out.
Yeah.
Nah, man. You know, come, get some love. You know what I mean? It's all love.
Torian asking, can P. Will make his presence known tonight? Don't count on it. We'll get to our thoughts on tonight's matchups. But the first thing that I wanted to look at, gentlemen, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter today.
Okay.
Joey, can we take a look at this promo video that the Wizards dropped on their official team account? It is the 25th anniversary, you guys, of the Washington Bullets rebranding as the Washington Wizards. I don't remember it happening all the way back in 97. I thought they made it through the 90s. But check this out.
Yeah, I think I
Throwback to the old court, the old DC logo. They're rocking the old Wizards blue and gold jerseys, or I think they might be the white and gold ones tonight because, yeah, they're playing at home. Look at those.
Those are dope.
Who do you think of when you see those jerseys?
Michael Jordan.
Michael freaking Jordan.
Michael Jeffrey.
Gilbert
Arenas is answer number two.
I think of Gilbert when I see the gold ones. Those just hideous.
Oh, man, I
yeah,
forgot about
yeah.
those.
I
Those
forgot
are
about
bad.
that.
So, yeah, Joey, do we have the pic of MJ that I gave you? I mean, that is sadly what I think of is this. When I see
we are
those
going to watch the MJ Bowl tonight.
early 2000s Wizards jerseys, that's what I think of.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
curious, and people in the comments let us know, how do you guys look back on that sort of like off-forgotten encore chapter of Michael's playing career? Because I think I've changed how I felt about it. When I was younger and he came out of retirement for a second time, I hated it because I was like, you're tarnishing Michael in a Bulls jersey and what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think as I got older and grew up a little bit, I was like, no, actually what I take away from it now is that MJ came back again and was like a 40-year-old man out there, and he was still dominant. That's what I think of now.
What you say, I used to have these arguments a lot with some friends in college about where he ranked as far as like top 20 players in the league and stuff like that. And I was like, how is he not still a top 20 player? Like, the dude's 40 years old and averaging 20-plus points a game. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dumb. I look back on it fondly, actually, because it let me know how great he was. But it just, for me, it just magnified how great he was, because people say, oh, man, it was bad. It was trash. You go look at them stats. You wish you could have some of those stats. But the reason it's like that is because you're used to this dude averaging 30 a game. You know what I mean? That's not normal. You know what I mean? So it's the fact that people got to watch greatness for so long that when he looked like an average NBA player, they were like, oh, my God, this is bad. And then he would still have games where he would be the only 40-year-old to ever drop 50 points in a game. You know what I mean? Like, he would still do that kind of thing. And Doug Collins told a great story. Do you remember the Doug Collins story?
I do, yeah.
That he told about that, how when Mike's streak broke of scoring double-digit points in a game, and he was on the bus, and Mike was like, you know, I just need to know if you still believe in me. He's like, I don't even care about, you know what I'm saying, the stats. Do you still think I can ball? He's like, of course I do, Michael. And he smoked his cigar. I was like, okay. Next game, 48. Next game, 38. And he just kept balling and balling and balling and balling, man. So I honestly look back on it fondly.
It's also like people weren't – there's so many 20-point-per-game scorers in today's NBA just because of the pace and the three-point shooting and free throws and everything. That was not the case back then. So, like, 20 points per game doesn't sound like a lot right now, but, like, at that time, that's –
And at 40, you know what I mean? It's not normal to do it at 40. You know what I mean?
Does it put into perspective at all LeBron's late career?
I was just about to say that, like, and talk about what we're seeing LeBron do again is not normal. You know what I mean? To be at a level where he can still average 30 points a game at the age of 37, 38 years old. It's not a normal thing. You know what I mean? And of course, it just adds to how great he is and his legacy and things like that. But
it's a different chapter of his legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys like Kareem, because Kareem would still be like 18 and 15, you know what I mean, at that age. And he retired, he was 40, 42 or something like that. So, yeah, guys being great but looking normal is shocking to people. But I'm like, the only reason they look normal is because they got older. You know what I mean? Like, they're still great. So, yeah, I look back on it fondly.
Troy in the comments agrees, saying, I loved MJ's Wizards time. I got to watch him play again, and he still embarrassed everyone. I mean, some of the, like, those Jordan ball fakes where he would just palm the ball and just move the ball around, like, the head of whoever was trying helplessly to guard him.
Right.
Just so cool.
Colin in the comments insists that he was furious. Larry saying that Rip Hamilton probably didn't look at it that way. That's right, Was Rip on that Wizards team with him?
Definitely. No, Rip looked at it that way because what do you think Rip was learning some of that stuff from, man? Like, watch his game in Detroit and just how more aggressive he was when he was there in Detroit, man. He credits Mike with a lot of things that he learned. Kwame Brown might not look back fondly on it. Those things, but
Ty Lue was also on that team with MJ,
sure
right?
Was. Yes, he was. Antoine Jameson was on that team as well, man.
Loved Anton.
Yeah, I did too.
Stack, right?
Stack,
Jerry
yes.
Stackhouse.
Jerry Stackhouse.
Wow.
Oh, Mike tried to end him as well.
Leitner was on that.
He sure was. Christian Leitner. Yes, he was.
Team.
Yes, he was.
Reuniting with MJ after they were
Popeye
teammates
Jones.
and equals on that 92 Dream Team in Barcelona. Drewish in the comments saying watching MJ was like going to church. You didn't miss it.
Fact.
For some people,
That's how I went.
that's true.
I understand your reference. I get what you're saying.
Flipside said he had the MJ Wizards 23 jersey.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I never got an MJ Wizards jersey. To me, that was
probably
like
never will.
committing treason.
No, I agree. Yeah.
I did have some jerseys of other NBA players once the dynasty broke up.
Sure.
Like, I had an AI jersey and a Kevin Garnett jersey because they were my two favorite players post-dynasty.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not cheating on the Bulls, but, like, if I got MJ's name on a jersey with a Snow with Bulls
That's
jersey.
like something that you'd find.
Sacrilege.
Right.
Like
Speaking of church, I would think, like, I'm going to hell. What did you say?
That's like you'd see a high school kid wearing a Wizards Jordan jersey to Lollapalooza.
He's right. Throwback.
Wait.
Did you? Go ahead.
I mean, we've got one right here. Joey, have you ever worn a Wizards jersey to Lollapalooza?
Never been to Lollapalooza. Joke doesn't hit.
I just gained,
Try again.
I just
one
gained
right here.
so much respect for you, Joey.
Oh, man.
That you
Try
are
again.
not out there with the young folks
Of
in
course not, man.
Lollapalooza.
You can tell by his musical taste how he rode, man.
Thank
You
you.
can see it.
Thank you, Big Dave.
Sir, did you have a jersey of somebody else that wasn't a Chicago Bull? Who was that?
I've had
I do have a
couple
lot of
jerseys.
crap jerseys. Though.
I'm not.
I'm sure.
I'm not a big jersey guy, but in like middle school and high school, I had a couple of Bulls players, obviously, but I think I had like I was a big Steve Nash and Mari Stoudemire guy.
Ooh,
that Suns
okay.
team
Yeah.
I loved, so I had their jerseys. Trying to think who else. I had a Chris Webber jersey. I was a big Kings guy. I don't know.
Mine was Jason Kidd with the Nets was probably the first like outside of Bulls
Those
jersey
old
I had.
New Jersey Nets jerseys.
Yeah,
were.
and this one, it was in the cursive writing of
Yeah.
the New Jersey. Dude, I wore it till it fell apart. I love that jersey so much, man. Yeah.
When I was younger, like young, 8, 7, and I am young now.
so
sorry.
last year, okay.
Correct. I went through. I wore a jersey every single day.
Okay.
Every single day. And
jersey over a hoodie.
jersey over long sleeve shirt, jersey over hoodie, whatever it was. Like there were some obscure jerseys in there.
Like, who's your most
Mecca
obscure?
Okafor
Ooh,
Bobcats
wow.
jersey.
That's
Like,
obscure. Yes.
Don't know.
Okafor Bobcats
Just had a
jersey
couple
deserves
players
a round
like
of applause.
you know you would play with them once on NBA Live. I'd be like, I like this guy. You know,
It
that's
was
how
all
it went.
based on exactly who you played with on 2K or NBA Live.
Oh,
Some
wow.
Random
bro.
jerseys in there.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh, Mecca Okafor. First of all, it's a Mecca Okafor. Secondly, I'm sure it's a Charlotte Bobcats.
It was
jersey.
a
Like,
Charlotte Bobcat jersey. I have a Nocioni jersey. It was one of my favorite Bulls jerseys I ever owned. There's a couple random ones.
Yeah, that's
I
obscure,
always
man.
like the random
I'd
jerseys.
like to see your collection one day, sir. Do you still have these?
No, I think I gave like a lot of them to like younger friends of mine. That
And they
were-
went to Lollapalooza after.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
these
okay.
are like children's jerseys, not like la teenagers. These are
Okay.
too
Wow.
small for anyone that would be of the. Okay, continue with the Bulls talk.
interesting. No, I
well,
like
real
learning
quick
about
before
Joey, man.
before we move on from obscure jerseys of obscure players, Colin in the comments here just said, "I have to admit, I got a Phoenix Suns starter jacket, not because of Sir Charles, but because of Dan Marley."
Wow.
Well, you would be
Wow.
best friends with Jerry Krause, R.I.P., because Jerry Krause was all about Dan Marley.
sure was about some
And
Thunder
then
Dan.
he let MJ know that, and then MJ was like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna break this dude named
Yeah.
Dan Marley."
I wanted a Charles Barkley jersey, so he was my favorite player. I loved Charles Barkley. He was around me. He was a big dude that was big and playing basketball well. So yeah,
And so
I identified.
freaking good.
And he was amazing. But I loved Charles Barkley, but I couldn't afford his jersey. So I think my parents bought me a Barkley shirt. And I've been looking for that shirt ever since because I wanted it again. It had like his stats when he was in Philly and everything.
wow.
Dude, I loved Charles Barkley so much, man. Shout out Charles Barkley.
Love that. All right, we do have a little bit of an update on Zach LaVine, so we will talk about that coming up next and take a look at these Wizards that we have on deck. But first, shout out to our friends at DraftKings. NBA fans, the wait is over. The NBA is back. So to tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA and our official betting partner here at CHGO, new customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if you win that $5 moneyline bet.
How much, man?
$200. That's like so much money.
So many dollars.
It's like 1.5 tanks of gas. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a stepped up same game parlay today. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA. I'm not going to give people the 5-legger that I have on this Bulls-Wizards game tonight because I don't want to jinx it, but I will tell you something and maybe throw this into a parlay if you want.
All right.
Vooch, points, rebounds, assists combined, over 31.5.
Nice.
I loved the game that Vooch had on Wednesday night. Yeah, he only hit 1 of 5 threes, but it was the biggest three. He was saving it for when the Bulls needed it the most. He was a rebounding machine. He was displaying that passing ability. I am all on board with a renaissance of Vooch this year. I'm taking the over on Vooch combined points, rebounds, assists.
Yeah.
He hit that easily in the first game, and he shot 5 of 13.
Right.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
I love
That's why I feel good about it tonight. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code CHGO. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins that moneyline bet. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code CHGO.
I thought about you when I was in my car today.
You did.
Yeah. because I was realizing the more you talk about gambling, the more I'm starting to understand certain things.
Yeah.
So when I hear people talk about over/under total points and how many points, I'm like, oh, I get that now. I know what that means. And I was like, thanks,
Over
man.
means over and under means under.
No, I meant the total points. That's what I was talking about. See, I'll give you a compliment. That's what you do.
I'm a smart ass. I'm sorry.
Two times because I felt you tapping me and I was still messing with me.
I didn't want to just be sitting here like
I know. I felt you. I had to give no. Put your
I do that all the time. Hello.
Hello.
You play the bass. All right. So before
reference, good
we
reference.
move on from tonight, I did want to revisit what Billy had to say about Zach on Wednesday after the news dropped that he wasn't going to play, because we were all, and by we were all, I mean at least I for sure, was reactionary and mad and yelling, and I was too distracted to actually listen to what Billy said about Zach. So Joey, do we have that clip of Billy Donovan? Thank you.
With him, the most unique summer in relationship to him playing 5-on-5. He did not play any 5-on-5, basically. I think most of his summer was spent getting his legs stronger, rehabbing, trying to get his physical fitness up, but he eliminated some 5-on-5. So when training camp started, we basically, I think he sat out of the Milwaukee game. I think probably very similar to what he told you. He was feeling great. We have to ramp him up, and there was a lot of very, very physical demanding practices, to be quite honest with you, coming out of the Milwaukee game. And I think after a few of those, he felt some discomfort. So, obviously we did not have a real good idea of where he was at physically, because we didn't really see a lot of 5-on-5 in the summer when those guys check in with him. It was really just more of a strengthening, rehabilitation, getting back from the surgery. So this is not, to me, anything that is unexpected. He's going to experience at times, maybe whatever word you want to use, discomfort, soreness, or whatever it is. We've got 7 games in 11 days. He's going to play a part in that. And, how do we get him back feeling good again?
Okay, so that was before Wednesday's game, and I still don't love the explanation. Okay. I mean, I at least understand the logic a little bit more now of this is his first time playing 5-on-5 in a long time, and he said Friday that he felt fine, and then
he didn't.
Hours and days passed, and he didn't, and that they finally at least admitted that there is some discomfort going on, and it wasn't like load management, because that made no sense.
To me, the thing that sticks out from this is that Billy said, this is not something that, we wouldn't have expected.
Right.
And to me, that's like, well, then why weren't you saying anything over the last 3 weeks? Why were you saying anything during preseason games? Why didn't that come up at all before? And again, this is difference between preventative load management and reactive injury management.
Right.
And so to come up with this and say, he's experiencing pain, this is not, a surprise. Well, there's a reason why everybody's reacting this way, and it's because actually it is a surprise.
Yeah. It's a shock to all of us. Because again, I don't think I can put this on anything I've seen before, where someone just sits out a season opener because of managing pain in your surgically repaired knee.
And I did notice our guy Harrison Wind at DNVR, he's the Nuggets
shout
reporter,
out,
tweeted that Jamal Murray might be sitting out with injury management as well for his ACL. To me, that's different because he played
correct
the opener. And
right,
so now
but
they're talking about him not playing back-to-backs.
But the Bulls-Nuggets preseason game, Jamal Murray left with a tweaked hamstring or something.
Yeah, he sure did.
Whereas Zach, it's like, no, he played those preseason games and then played very soft minutes in one of them and then sat the last one. So, that made sense as far as just managing Zach, easing back into this. What didn't make sense was easing him back into it, which then included not playing in the first game of the season.
The part that does make a lot of sense to me is now I'm like, okay, now this is the Zach LaVine I know, of trying to play through pain and not saying something is wrong. That's the Zach LaVine I know. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, I'm hurt. Are you okay, Zach? And he literally got his leg in his hand. He's like, no, I can play tonight. It's okay. That's the Zach
that
LaVine
game when he tore his ACL.
Right.
Last season he was playing through clearly a significant knee injury.
Correct.
And playing with sprained and or partially torn ligaments in his thumb.
Correct.
The dude is tough as nails.
Like that's the Zach I know.
To me, again, I said this last show, the issue is not whether Zach is tough enough to play through pain. It's the
Correct.
fact that he's experiencing pain at all.
Correct.
Right.
When the surgery was supposed to solve that issue.
Right. And so Billy did also make note of the fact that they're starting their season by playing 7 games in 11 days. That's a lot.
Absurd.
Which is maybe if he
Should
saw
be
an
illegal.
opportunity for Zach to have some rest nights in winnable games without Zach. Although, how do you look at the reigning number 1 seed in the East on the road?
Yeah.
Say, oh, yeah, we don't need Zach for that one. Kudos to the Bulls for finding a way to win that game on Wednesday. Mostly, shout out to DeMar DeRozan.
Damn right.
You're incredible. But, play Wednesday, rest Friday on the front of a back-to-back, and then play the home opener. Like, that would make sense to me. Sitting these first 2 games in a row still is a little weird. We should also make note, Billy just wrapped up his pregame media availability for tonight's game and said in that press availability that Zach LaVine should play tomorrow against Cleveland.
I'm with you, Colin. I feel you on that. Zach can sit the first 20 games. I don't care. I won 32 healthy minutes in all 11 to 13 playoff games. I feel you, but you're going to need him to get to those playoff games.
How you get in the playoffs without Zach LaVine?
You know what I mean?
Because you're not.
You're going to have to do that. But the Bulls did win this game against Miami. Ooh, I did the win horse when I did that. The Bulls did win this game against the Heat, you know what I'm saying, without Zach LaVine being there. And they showed us something that I don't think any of us thought we were going to see. Continuity with that team. Everybody kind of knew each other.
Watch out. That's Will's trigger word.
I know. But it's what happened.
And Zach has not played since the Raptors game, I believe. He played the first half of that game and then was held out of the game on October 11th. So he hasn't played since October 9th.
Yeah.
Obviously, aside from practices. So this is a pretty long stretch for him. Where
Coming
he's
up on,
not
that's
playing.
like almost 2 full weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, so there's that. Everybody, knock on wood, do whatever. Hopefully, we're talking about Zach LaVine suiting up and playing on tomorrow's pregame show.
Can I ask y'all one more? How much do you think this is more of the medical staff and coaching staff telling him not to play? Because it feels like Zach LaVine is like, I don't care how it feels. I want to play. How much do you think it's them saying you need to sit down?
It's really hard to say. I will say this. I think, and I almost hate to say it, but like I do think there was a piece of him playing through injury last year that had a lot to do with the contract coming up. And so I think now that he's signed that, maybe there's a little less incentive to just like put your body on the line every night. To your point, yes, it would be great if he's ready to go for the playoffs, but like they need to get there, as you said.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not grandfathered into the playoffs just because they made it last year. So that's concerning to me, and I'm glad that they're taking it easy and making sure that he's being taken care of with his knee, just early on in the season, especially. But it's hard to say whether it was Zach's choice or the medical staff's choice, but like they do need to be conservative here with a guy who's had multiple surgeries on the same knee now.
I don't know how I feel about it. Okay. I honestly, I don't know if it's Zach, trying to mentally get himself back and getting over the hump that there is some discomfort playing, 100% fast-paced 5-on-5 for the first time in a long time, or if it's the Bulls being cautious against his wishes to play. I don't know.
As long as I see Zach back on the floor this season.
If he's on the floor tomorrow, I'll feel slightly better about it until the next time he sits, and then I'm going to be breaking out in anxiety hives again.
Well, I think also it's not just when we see him next, it's how he responds to that. So if he plays tomorrow night against the Cavs and doesn't look good or is limping around, or they realize that he can't play Monday or Wednesday either next week, that's worse.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Woke Queen trying to convince Kale in the comments that the Bulls are going to win should be an easy one to beat the Wizards. This Wizards squad is for real. They got their opening win against the Pacers Wednesday.
They did.
They got 20-plus each from Kuzma and Beal.
Yeah.
They got a double-double from Kristaps. They've got some solid role players on this team.
Daniel Gafford.
And our old friend Taj Gibson.
Shout out.
He was a DNP in their first game. Let me get some Taj minutes tonight, Washington. I don't think this is a rollover easy win for the Bulls tonight, especially considering the Wizards want some payback.
Sure.
The Bulls swept the Wizards 3-0 last
Spank
year
that ass.
in the regular season, including,
If you'll recall,
the New Year's Day miracle. Joey, do we have that clip?
Oh, hit
My
me with it, Joey.
God.
Hit me with it one time.
It's so fun. That was the second consecutive night that he did that. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. My
He's on
God.
our team.
Shout out to our guy Salim for Bulls Gold for posting that this morning. I was like, I know someone's going to be posting the DeMar game winner against Washington.
Well, boom, sir. Boom goes the dynamite.
I mean, like, the Wizards are going to be hungry in this one.
Sure.
I have a feeling.
And the Bulls
after
will be hungry,
witnessing
too.
DeMar do that to them on their home floor on New Year's Day.
Yes. And the Bulls will be hungry, too, also to prove themselves that they can do this without Zach LaVine. So it's a lot to prove on both sides. I'm sure the Bulls aren't coming in rolling over like, all right, we got this one. I'm sure they're not feeling that way.
There are no walkover games. in the
Correct.
East this year.
Zero walkover games, man. Everybody can get it, you know what I'm saying, in any particular night. So I think they're coming in ready, honestly. And coming off that big win against Miami, I think it made them more hungry, to keep this thing going. So let's see how it goes, man.
Anybody of that Wizards big three, sort of a medium three, no disrespect to them, that you are, maybe a little fearful of having a monster game tonight? I mean, most people would point to Beal. He's the one who has, between those three players, shown most consistently being a player capable of, like, I'm going to drop 40 tonight because I feel like it.
Yeah, I will continue to point to him. That is the one. Bradley Beal is a monster, and we've seen it, with our own eyes, just how good he is. I don't know if I'm fearful of it, but him dropping 30, I expect it. I hope he doesn't go more than that. And it's going to be interesting to watch. He's just so good. He really, really is. And a great scorer. And I know he's excited to see Ayo again. And Ayo to use some of the things that he's taught him. That should be fun as well.
Yeah, for me, it's Porzingis. I think he gets kind of like a lot of criticism for some reason. I mean, he's been injured and stuff like that, but he's a really good player. And I like him at the 5 too, because of the way that he stretches out the floor. The Bulls have always had trouble with floor spacing bigs. Sure. Just those pick and pop actions where Vooch has to contain at the level of the screen and then get back out to defend the shooter. Porzingis is a really good shooter who can get him off quickly. And so that, I think, will be those pick and rolls, whether it's with Beal or Kuzma or Monte Morris. Those are going to be tough to defend.
But as our guy Mark pointed out with a couple of video tweets, and also as we discussed in postgame Wednesday, Vooch did a better job playing defense up on the perimeter and defending those screens on Wednesday.
And that's absolutely true, but there's also the aspect of getting back out to the shooter, which you don't have to worry about with a Bam Adebayo. So this is going to be another test for Vooch to see if he can sort of move around the perimeter a little bit better.
I'm excited to see it, man.
And
I got John Sabine would disagree with you about the unicorn, man. He's not a fan. Not a fan, bro.
John Sabine, also not a fan of the job that your boy Jason Kidd is doing coaching that team.
He says sometimes. It was one game.
They went to the conference finals.
Yeah, I know, right?
They'll be fine.
For the record, Bulls announced their starting lineup on Twitter. It is the same as Wednesday. Ayo, Caruso, DeMar, Pat, and Vooch.
Give it to me.
We had people in the comments saying, big game for Pat tonight. Speak it into existence. Gotta happen.
Speak it.
And then somebody here, Money D, saying, 5th game of the season, Pat's going to get benched. Lose that spot to Javante. Okay, well, there we have it. Everything in between. Still hanging in there, riding with Pat, and bust.
Only
Bless your hearts, Bulls fans. We got a wrap at 6 o'clock. Shout out to Fernando with a super chat saying, Game 2, let's go. Go Bulls.
Go,
Appreciate
Fernando.
it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hit that like button. We have 280 people watching pregame with us.
Thank y'all,
Hit
man.
that like button before you X out of here. We will see you right back here for
Shout out
postgame. For
Chicago
Joey,
Sky.
Will, Big Dave,
Peek the
Pack.
sneaks.
See you right. Be good. Go Bulls.